Imagine having a role in a company where you touch every department, elevate the entire organization, and don't manage a single person. That is exactly what we do in safety management. And today, I want to dive deep into the impact that you, as somebody working in safety, can have at your organization. Hey there, safety friends. Welcome to the Safety Geek Podcast. At the Safety Geek, you will learn how to manage an effective safety program that increases your management support and employee engagement, all the while helping you elevate your position and move up in your career. If you're ready to step into the role of a safety influencer, you're in the right place, my friend. Let's get to it. Hello, my safety friends. Welcome to another episode of the Safety Geek Podcast. I hope that you had an amazing week. Before we get started, I want to share a little bit of excitement happening around the Safety Geek household. So my daughter, we have a vacant lot next to us, and my daughter found 2 newborn kittens abandoned right in that lot next to our house. Like, they are so newborn that their umbilical cords had not even dropped off yet. So I have been bottle feeding kittens every few hours. And it really brings me back to the days when my kids were babies, because they literally have to be fed every couple hours from a bottle. I have to warm the bottle up. I'm using formula. It's just so funny. So my son is likely going to adopt these kittens, but he works all day long, as does his girlfriend. So he can't care for them during the day like I can. So I'm caring for them right now, and I get to do that. So it's fun, but it's definitely not something that I want to keep. I'm a dog person. I do not want to keep kittens, but at the same time, I don't want them to die, right? So I'm taking care of them. So that is our excitement. Anyway, let's get on to the episode. We are actually kicking off a series talking about the role of safety in the workplace. And today, I wanted to dive into the impact that we have on organizations. Because when I'm teaching people about the operational expertise pillar, which is one of our 3 pillars in the safety influencer system, that piece gets a lot of people stuck. So I want to get into it and help you unstick yourself and get it so that way you understand the impact that you truly have. So for most people, safety management conjures up like images of like audits and checklists and compliance paperwork and the occasional like hard hat and PPE. But if you have been in the industry, or even if you're just getting started, you know that there is so much more when it comes to safety. Safety is actually a strategic lever, a behind-the-scenes force that, when it's done right, it transforms not only operations, but culture, communication, and profits. So let's walk through how this role touches every corner of the business and why your real job isn't about managing people, and how shifting your mindset can accelerate your career faster than you ever imagined. So whether you are a confused safety grunt, an overlooked employee, an underappreciated manager, or already working your way up that corporate ladder, I promise you will walk away from this episode with a new perspective and actionable steps that you can take. Because today is about changing your beliefs, elevating your role, and realizing that you are more influential than you think. So, what if I told you that there is one department in every business that improves every other department? And unfortunately, it often gets overlooked. That is the Department of Safety. Now, if you are new in your role, you might not fully believe this yet, but by the end of this episode, I think that you will. Safety is literally the backbone of business continuity. When it is strong, everything runs smoother. But when it is weak or ignored, things tend to break down. So let's start off by looking at operations. A solid safety program ensures workflows are predictable and that downtime due to incidents or injuries or maintenance is minimized. It keeps people on the job, machines keep running, and disruptions are rare. When operations are stable, productivity and output increases. That, my friend, is your impact. Now let's shift over to HR. When your programs build a culture of safety, employees actually feel valued. They then start to trust the company and they stay there longer. They talk positively about the workplace, and that improves recruitment, retention, and employee morale. You're not just preventing injuries, my safety friend. You are helping HR build a stronger workforce. Let's move on to finance. Now, CFOs, they love their numbers, and safety, we deliver them. Fewer injuries means fewer claims, less legal exposure, reduced premiums, and even lower recruiting costs, going back to our HR impact. Plus, safety often reveals inefficiencies in the workplace, like wasteful work practices or maintenance risks. So things that would normally drain the budget, safety helps with that. So good safety saves money, some serious money. Now, what about quality? If you have a quality department, when people feel safe, they actually pay attention more to their tasks. They have more pride in their work. They're more present and they're more precise. That's a heck of a lot of P's. The result is higher production quality, fewer errors, and better customer satisfaction. And that moves us on to our sales and marketing department. And you might be thinking, safety has no effect on sales, but companies with effective and excellent safety records have bragging rights. They can market themselves as responsible, people-first brands. That gives them a competitive edge in attracting customers, partners, and even investors. So here's the story that really brings all of this home. One of my students worked in a mid-sized manufacturing company where safety had always been reactive. It was like a checklist culture, and they only did safety because they were required to. And it was only brought up after something went wrong. So when she took over the program and started applying what she had learned in Safety Management Academy and putting in effective systems and processes, everything changed. She implemented proactive systems, starting with hazard assessments, trend tracking, and even employee engagement. And within 6 months, their incident rates dropped 40%. That's a double-digit reduction. But the expected bonus, employee turnover, dropped by nearly the same amount. Production delays due to worker injuries were virtually eliminated. And the HR department, they got to brag about a win because the recruitment was so easy. And my student got to say, we have built a culture of safety and respect. That manager didn't just make her department better, she made the entire organization better. And that is the secret of safety. It is not siloed. It's not a department that works in isolation. It's a horizontal function that runs through the entire organization. But here's the kicker. Most people don't see it that way. Many companies see safety as a cost center, and that is your opportunity. When you understand your value, and more importantly, when you can articulate that value to others, you elevate your position. You become the connector, the strategist, the essential piece to that business puzzle that they didn't even know they were missing. So if you're feeling overlooked in your current role, start shifting how you even see yourself and start tracking your safety efforts on how you're impacting other departments. Build those bridges across those departments and share those insights. Show the team how safety is not just about compliance. It's also a catalyst for their business excellence. Now, one thing that I have noticed is that a lot of safety people think that their job is to manage people, and that belief is actually holding you back. So let's dig deeper into this belief system because Many safety managers walk into this role thinking that they're supposed to act like supervisors, correcting behaviors and enforcing rules and keeping everybody in line. But here's the reality. Nobody reports to you. You don't have a team to manage unless you have other safety people under you. You don't sign paychecks. You don't conduct performance reviews. And the lack of direct authority is incredibly frustrating if you think your role is to manage employees. So let's shift that belief a little bit too. Your power comes from the systems you create, the frameworks, the routines, the strategies that influence how people act even when you're not around. Safety managers manage systems, not people. The clearer and more effective your systems are, the more consistent your results will be. So imagine this, instead of having to follow up every time somebody skips a step, your system makes that step automatic. It's baked into the production workflow. There's a checklist or a reminder or review process that you've put in place. And that behavior then becomes part of their everyday routine. That's the difference between a safety manager being stuck in micromanagement and one that operates like a strategic leader. So let's contrast this with two examples. Let's say that we have one safety manager that sees a forklift driver skipping a safety check and rushes in to correct them. They take the initiative. And then the next day, it happens again and again. It's exhausting. You're constantly having to correct that employee that you have no authority over. So the other option of doing this is that instead of reacting, you implement maybe a digital inspection process that logs the checks before the shift even starts, or something that reminds the drivers, and then the results are tracked, and then the supervisor gets alerts if it isn't done. Now the manager isn't chasing the behavior, the system is doing the work, and the supervisor is following up with the employee. This is the kind of thinking that elevates your role in the workplace. It's not about catching mistakes. It's about designing them out of the process entirely. And when you adopt this mindset, something amazing happens. You gain influence. People see you as someone who brings clarity, simplicity, and solutions that isn't just pointing the finger all the time. The goal is to get you out of firefighting role and into more of an architect role. You don't have to hustle harder. You just need smarter systems. And here's the truth that most people don't hear. If you're constantly chasing people down to follow the safety rules, it means that your systems aren't working. The right system removes that chase, and it creates consistency, and it builds trust. As your systems mature, you'll find that safety starts to run by itself, like a well-oiled machine. Not because people suddenly care more, but because your structure makes safe behaviors the path of least resistance. So let's drop those outdated beliefs that you manage people. You manage the program. You manage the process. And when you do that well, people will follow naturally. This mindset shift is one of the most powerful tools that you have in your toolbox. And once you make it, your entire approach to your job changes, and so will your results. Now, do you want to be the most powerful person in the room without having to be the boss? That's being a safety manager. Here's the thing about influence. It's not about job titles. It's about trust. It's about clarity. It's about consistency. You don't need to have direct authority to lead. In fact, the most effective safety managers that I have worked with didn't even have anybody reporting to them. They led through their relationships, through consistent communication, as well as through systems that made their programs successful. So influence starts with understanding psychology. People don't change because they're told to. They change when they understand why, when it connects to something that they care about. And your job is to connect safety to their priorities. For a line worker, that might be getting home to their kids. For a supervisor, it might be hitting production goals without disruption. For an executive, it's avoiding legal exposure and protecting profits. When you frame safety in the terms of their goals, not yours, you get buy-in. Here's a practical technique that you can start using today. Stop using the word safe or safety and start using the words that they care about. Efficiency, cost effectiveness, reliability. Tie safety to quality, to customer satisfaction, and to business continuity. Influence also comes from consistency. When people see that you show up every day with the same message, the same standards, the same focus, they trust you. And trust is the foundation of influence. One of the best ways to build influence is through storytelling. Don't just present your stats, share stories. What story are those stats creating? Talk about a time when somebody made a quick decision and prevented an injury, or how a small process changed and saved the company thousands. People remember stories. They connect emotionally to them. And emotional connection drives behavior way faster than logic ever will. So let me share a story with you. One of our Safety Management Academy students was struggling to get department heads to follow the new reporting process. He tried to share memos, emails, even team meetings, but nothing was working. Then he changed his approach. Instead of repeating a rule, he shared a story about a near-miss incident that almost resulted in a serious injury. Because it was reported in a timely manner, they were able to change the process and improve the program. And then they tied that story to a real person and a relatable moment and something that the management team could believe would happen. The tone of the room changed. Suddenly, it wasn't about another policy or another safety thing that needed to be done. It was about protecting people as well as helping the company. And the change in the process was adopted quickly. That is influence, and that is available to you, no matter what your title is. Hey there, quick break in this episode, but it's worth it, I promise. If you ever wish you had ready-to-go safety templates, checklists, spreadsheets, and tools so that you're not stuck creating everything from scratch, I got you covered, my safety friend. When you sign up for my all-access resources, you get instant access to my private resource vault. Plus, you'll get my safety leadership newsletter, where a few times a week, I will send you an email packed with quick, actionable tips that you can use today. These are the same resources and strategies that I have used to build world-class safety programs, and now they're yours for free. So grab them up today. Go to thesafetygeek.com/resources to get your all-access pass. Alrighty, let's get back to the episode. Influence is about creating environments where the right behavior is an obvious choice. It's not about demanding change. It's about designing it. And when you understand how to lead with authority, you stop feeling like an outsider and start becoming a trusted advisor. You become like that go-to person and not the glue that is holding everything together. And over time, influence actually does build authority, not through your hierarchy, but through your impact and through respect. Because when people start to follow your lead, because they want to, not because they have to, that is true leadership. So embrace your role as an influencer and learn the tools, practice the strategies, and watch how fast your reputation can change and grow and see those results pile up. Now, do you want more job security and safety? Then be the reason that your company saves over 6 figures a year. This isn't like a dream scenario. It's happening every day. Safety managers who understand how to tie their efforts directly to the bottom line, they are showing that they are giving a return on investment that more than doubles or triples their annual salary. So let's break this down. There are 2 types of cost savings, direct and indirect. Direct savings come from obvious places like fewer injuries or fewer claims or cheaper hospital bills or fewer legal fees, right? These are the kind of numbers that jump off a spreadsheet. And these are things that we in safety have been taught to talk about all the time. But there is an indirect savings that often goes unnoticed. And this is just as powerful. Things like reduced turnover, fewer production delays, increased efficiencies, less rework, improved morale, fewer missed deadlines, lower maintenance costs. Every time an employee is out due to an injury, you are paying overtime to cover their shift to somebody else. You are pulling someone else off of their job to cover that employee's work, or overall, the company is losing momentum. Multiply that by dozens of incidents a year, and it adds up fast. Now, let's flip it. Imagine that the safety manager steps in and builds a proactive safety system and cuts incidents in half. Let's say that you have 20 fewer incidents this year. If each incident costs an average of $10,000 in the combined direct cost and indirect cost, you just saved that company $200,000. That's not hypothetical, my safety friend. That's math, not even girl math. And when you start sharing those results at management meetings, everything changes. You start to earn a seat at that table because you start being seen as the valuable member of the team. And when safety is done right, it's not a cost center. It's a profit center. So for this to happen, you do need to talk like a business person, not a safety person. That means that you have to start tracking your metrics, showing your impact, and building a business case for safety every single time. You need to answer questions like, what is the ROI of this new training program? Or how does this new process reduce downtime? Or how many hours are we saving with this system? Or what's the value of preventing one serious incident? When you connect the dots, executives listen because now you're speaking their language. You are speaking in the terms of results, efficiency, and growth. And another powerful angle is employee engagement. Companies with strong safety programs see better retention. Why? Because people want to work where they feel safe, respected, and valued, believe it or not, right? That stability actually translates into better performance, better customer service, and a stronger brand reputation. And here's something to consider. Many buyers and business partners now ask about safety records before they are signing contracts. So your safety program can literally open and close deals for your sales team. So when you say safety equals profit, we're not talking fluff here. We're not making this stuff up. We're talking real, measurable, and sustainable business performance. And you're the person that made this happen. So if you ever feel like your work is going unnoticed, remember this. Every smart executive is looking for new ways to increase profit. You've got one of the most powerful levers at your fingertips. Start tracking your wins, share your numbers, and position yourself not just as a safety manager, but as a business leader in disguise. Now, most careers are taking about 20 years to hit that six-figure mark. But in safety, you can actually do it in 3 to 5 years with the right systems and processes. And that is not an exaggeration. The career path in safety is one of the most underutilized and underestimated avenues to financial stability and professional influence. Why? Because safety results are visible, they're measurable, and they're repeatable. And companies are always looking for professionals who can deliver consistent improvements out a huge team or a massive budget. So let's talk about career growth first. So in many fields, promotions are tied to seniority and not results. But in safety, it's about outcomes. Because if you can reduce incidents, improve compliance, and build strong systems that impact all the other departments and that they actually get followed, you will get noticed. Professionals move from like a coordinator role all the way up to a regional director role in under 4 years, not because they had an advanced degree and not because they had some fancy certification, but because they had a braggable track record of results. Which brings us to income. According to the recent industry surveys, the starting pay for a safety coordinator is right around like $45,000 or $50,000 a year. But with the right training and results, you can sometimes triple that in just a few years. Directors of safety, regional safety managers, chief safety officers can earn well into the six-figure mark. We're talking $150,000 to $200,000 a year. And the reason is simple. They drive down costs, they improve operations, and they reduce risk while they're doing it. But it isn't just about money. It's about impact, isn't it? Imagine walking into the company with poor morale and a high turnover, and then creating a program where you get to leave that company and they are set up for success with a culture of pride, respect, and stability. Imagine knowing that policies you put in place are sending hundreds of people home every single day, safe to their family. It's not about a job, is it? It's a legacy. This is why I say we are the superheroes of the workplace. So, how do you get there? How do you do this? First, you need to build a portfolio. You need to start keeping a record of your results. Document your projects and show your work. Second, invest in your skills. Safety isn't just about knowing the regulations. It's about knowing how to lead, how to influence, and how to implement these systems. When you combine practical skills with strategic thinking, you can then become the go-to person, not just for safety, but for performance improvement. And here's something very powerful. Every win that you create multiplies. The more results you deliver, the more opportunities open up for you. It's not uncommon for a safety manager to be recruited into an operational or leadership role because the skills you learn in safety are transferable across the board. Leadership, systems thinking, problem solving, communication, these are not just safety skills. They're executive skills, my safety friend. So if you're feeling stuck in your career, maybe you're burnt out on safety and you're unsure of what you want to do next, I want you to know that safety can still be your launch pad, and not just into another safety role, but into any role where influence, structure, and results matter. Whether your dream is to lead like a national program, work globally, or start your own consulting firm, safety gives you that foundation. The key is shifting your mindset. Stop thinking of yourself as a compliance enforcer and start seeing yourself as a strategic leader. That's the difference between a stagnant career and one that skyrockets. You're not just clocking a paycheck. You're building something that matters. for your company, for your coworkers, and even for your future. So, are you ready to be more than just a safety administrator, an overworked and underappreciated safety employee? Are you ready to step into a role where your work truly matters? Now is your time. We have covered a lot in this episode, from how safety impacts every department to why your true role is about managing systems and influencing behaviors. And you've seen how safety isn't a cost center. It's a profit lever. It's the secret behind strong teams and better morale and a healthier bottom line for your organization. And perhaps more importantly, you've seen the career opportunity that is in front of you, the potential to grow fast, make an impact, and earn a great living, all while doing work that genuinely matters. But none of this happens by accident. It starts when you shift your mindset and continues with strategy, systems, and support. So if you're tired of being stuck, tired of not being heard, and ready to elevate your career, now is the time. Thank you so much for listening. If this resonated with you, be sure to share it with your safety friends. Make sure you subscribe and always leave a review. I want to hear your feedback. So until next time, stay safe, my safety friend, and keep building your legacy, because together we are elevating the role of safety in everybody's workplace. Bye for now. Hey, if you're just getting started in safety, or you've been at this for a while and are hitting a roadblock, then I want to invite you to check out Safety Management Academy. This is my in-depth online course that not only teaches you the processes and strategies of an effective safety management program, but how to entwine management support and employee participation throughout your processes. Are you ready to finally understand exactly what you should be doing and ditch that safety police hat forever? Then you have got to join me and your fellow safety scholars over at Safety Management Academy. Just go to thesafetygeek.com/SMA to learn more and to get started. That's thesafetygeek.com/SMA. And I will see you in our next students only live session. Bye for now.